of at the local level, that's in our schools, in our communities, that we teach and we educate people on the genocide that took place, and that we watch current events to properly understand what's happening today. But it's also important that we recognize at the highest levels of power in the United States that when a genocide occurs, it is the duty of the United States to recognize that genocide. If we are to be the beacon of freedom and democracy in the world, we have to stand up for what is right. So for the last 20 years, since coming to Congress, Brad Sherman has fought to recognize the genocide of 1915, and every year he has pushed president after president to accept that recognition and call it genocide. In addition, this year, Congressman Sherman and his colleagues joined in passing a resolution expressing the sense of Congress that the atrocities perpetrated by ISIL against religious and ethnic minorities, that constitutes genocide too. And shortly after that resolution was passed, Secretary of State Kerry came to the same conclusion. So we will remain vigilant, we will speak truth, and at the highest levels, Congressman Sherman will work in Washington, D.C. to ensure that we have a moral foreign policy. It's also important to recognize the contributions of everyone here today that are ongoing. And we have such a great relationship with the Assyrian American community here in the San Fernando Valley. I saw Father George Betrasho a minute ago, and it is a diverse community in the San Fernando Valley, and is one that we proudly participate in your events, and we stand in solidarity with you. And for that reason, I want to give a special commendation today. Raymond, if you have a minute to come up here. You know, one of the special things that Congressman Brad Sherman can do for an organization that unites our community, that puts together cultural events, that educates the youth, and that brings us in common cause to stand up for what is right. One of the special things that he can do is request a flag that's been flown over the United States Capitol in Washington. And Raymond, today, on behalf of Congressman Brad Sherman, I want to present you this flag of the United States of America to the Assyrian American Association of Southern California. Thank you very much, and Congressman Sherman looks forward to joining you in person at an event soon where he can update you on his work in Washington on these important issues. And don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. Thank you.
Thanks again, Scott. We really do appreciate the work that Congressman Brad Sherman does for our community, not only here in the diaspora, but also in Iraq and in Syria. You know, we made that connection with Congressman Brad Sherman a couple years ago, and it's been a proud and very strong relationship we've had with his office. You know, we look forward to working with you every day and continuing to lead our partnership into hopefully more success. So thank you again. We really do appreciate that. Our next speaker I'd like to welcome up is California State Assembly Member Ogin Nazarian. He's the assembly member of this district. He's an assembly member that fights for recognition of the Armenian, Assyrian, Greek genocide every day in Sacramento. He's my former boss, actually, which I appreciate. And so we could all, you know, welcome him to the stage, Assembly Member Ogin Nazarian.
Thank you, John. First and foremost, thanks to all of you also for coming together on a hot August day and making sure that we remember and we honor those that fell, not only for us to survive, but fell unknowingly, fell unexpectedly, similar to their brethren, whether the Greeks, Armenians, many of these cultures, civilizations that have been around for a very, very long time, who always lived in peace, had their wars, had their past, but had come to a place where they had their community, they knew who they were, they lived off of their identity, off of their beliefs. And unfortunately, some of their neighbors didn't agree with their existence and wanted to get rid of them. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to continuously working with you. I look forward to making sure that some of your youth are placed in offices such as mine or other offices, whether in the Assembly, Council, or Congress, to make sure that your youth are also similar to Armenians, Greeks, and the Jewish community, all communities that have suffered great loss, to grow and to understand what it means to be laying new roots in a democratic society and growing in a new place where our new home not only flourishes from our contributions, but our families are able to grow generations without sustaining any further losses. So thank you for what you do in remembering and honoring, but also let's work together to make sure that we're empowering our youth, our own, to arise and be in places where we can ensure that our future generations are protected and have a voice in democracy. Thank you very much.
Assemblymember Ogin Nazarian, we really do appreciate your partnership, and we look forward to continuing that relationship in the near future. 100 years ago, a tragedy occurred. 100 years ago, the first genocide of the 20th century occurred against a group of people based off of their religious and ethnic identities. 101 years have passed, and Turkey has still not accepted responsibility. 101 years have passed, and the atrocities of 1915 are occurring again to Assyrians living in Iraq and Syria based on the same measures of their ethnic and religious identities. It seems as if Assyrians around the world have been left unforgotten, set aside to wander for themselves in this world. But today I'm not here to speak on the negativities of our failures or the missed opportunities of our past, yet I am here to speak today to the promise that we as a community, we as a nation, we as a people have accomplished so much in the last several decades, but yet work still lies ahead. It's a testament to us that we have been tested, we have been tried, and yet we have prevailed. August 7th is a day of significance and a day of remembrance for the Assyrian community. We honor those who perished in 1915 by the Turkish government, honor those who perished in 1933 by the Iraqi government, and we honor those who have fallen victim to terrorism in Iraq and Syria and here at home. Today, the Assyrian American Association of Southern California is making it a priority to our community and the communities around the world to spread awareness about the issues facing our people. This year's theme follows three ideologies: honor, remember, and empower. We honor those who have perished and we honor their memories. We honor them through our celebrations, our actions, and our prayers. We honor their sacrifice and we live through them in seeing brighter days. We remember that we are Assyrian, sons and daughters of King Sargon and Queen Shamiran, linguists in the language of Christ, provider of all to civilization. Remember our history, 6,766 years of vibrant and vivacious successes. Lest we must remember our battles, but we remember those battles as a testament to our strength and our rigor. Lastly, we must empower ourselves, raise our voices, lift our demands, and most importantly, lift our spirits. Let each of us be an inspiration we're looking for to not only empower us as a nation, but to empower ourselves as Assyrians and fulfill the duties our ancestors handed down to us. Woo! Empower yourself to be a testament, to look ISIS and other detractors in the face and say, it doesn't matter how many books, museums, or artifacts you burn and destroy, we will be united, we will be stronger, and we will prevail. Remember the words of the late Rabbi Nino Saho when he recited the poem Atura Echata. A new Assyrian is born. We are the new Assyrians he is referencing. Look to your left and look to your right. The people here are the people we are looking for. Atura Echata is in us. Activism is in our blood. We root from the cradle of civilization. So on this Memorial Day, let us break from the norm and start a new tradition. Let us rise together collectively and look at our deniers in the face and tell them, no more. No more will we accept the unrecognition of the Assyrian, Armenian, Greek genocide. No more will we sit aside while churches and museums and artifacts are being destroyed. No more will we be treated as second-class citizens in a nation we created and helped build. The principles of honor, remember, and empower should be embroidered in our minds, and all of us. We will and we must teach not only ourselves, but everyone around us that is willing to lend a ear and an open mind. We must teach our language, we must teach our history, we must teach our culture and our traditions to not only our kids in the next generation, but to all those who are willing to lend a hand. Honor, remember, and empower. Say it after me. Honor, remember, and empower. Honor, remember, and empower. Those three simple words of honor, remember, and empower. We honor, remember, and empower the millions of Assyrians, Armenians, and Greeks killed in 1915. We honor and remember and empower the thousands upon thousands of Assyrians killed by the hands of the Iraqi government in Somalia in 1933. We honor, remember, and empower the number of countless Assyrians living in the Middle East that are tormented by the terrorist acts of ISIS and other terrorist organizations in the region. This Assyrian Memorial Day, I ask you one request. You leave here being more proud to be an Assyrian American than you came in. It's a simple request. Can you all guarantee me that? I can't hear you. Thank you. We will continue to honor, remember, and empower ourselves to build stronger and more collaborative communities here in the diaspora. We will honor, remember, and empower ourselves to fight what is rightfully ours. Today, we rallied for those who are voiceless. We rallied for those Assyrians who don't have a word to say. We rallied not only for us, but we rallied for us as a community here in Los Angeles and in Orange County to say, you know what? We will stand united. We will stand proud. We rallied to the deniers of the genocide to show the world that us as Assyrians are standing and continue to fight until we gain our freedom. We are all in this fight together. Through your help, through your empowerment, we as a community can thrive. So I ask you, rise and join me in saying, honor, remember, and empower. Honor, remember, and empower. Honor, remember, and empower. Honor, remember, and empower. God bless you all. Chayal.
Before we get to our next speaker, I just want one more time a very, very big round of applause for John Koriel. That was an amazing. Can we get him to stand? Stand, stand, stand. Okay, next up, we're going to have a very, very special speech. Let's all get together and welcome Tegberanit Shotaputa, the president of the Assyrian American Association of Southern California, Mr. Ramon Taft.
Shalom Aleichem. I'll try to follow up John's speech, but good afternoon. Our public servants, our beloved clergymen, community leaders, fellow citizens, it is an honor to be here with you all on this day, on Assyrian Martyrs Day. Most of my speech will be in English, but some parts will be in our native Assyrian language. Yati bas altsuraye u anu qayyut da ayuma. Admijit in ayuma kat model bara danet kat avach achshigyu ganan shan edana priktala. On behalf of the Assyrian American Association of Southern California, I would like to thank our guest speakers for taking part with us, Assemblyman Nazarian, Councilman Koriel, our friend from the office of Congressman Brad Sherman, Scott Schmerlson, and George Hakupians. Thank you so much for coming. This is the first time we have had an event like this to commemorate Assyrian Martyrs Day. and we're honored that you participated with us today. And we do look forward to future collaborative efforts with all of you. Before I begin, it would be remiss of me not to say a few words about an Assyrian that passed away last week, and his name was Rabbi Homer Ashurian. He was, for those that may not know, he was an Assyrian archaeologist, scholar. He was a representative of the Assyrian people in the Iranian government in the 1970s, and through his work at the AUA Foundation in Chicago, he helped curate the Ashurbanipal Library and allocated money and scholarship funds for students seeking higher education, and helped in the printing of Assyrian textbooks in the homeland, so that our people can learn the language and learn different subjects in our language. He left an impressive and valuable body of work, and he passed away at the age of 80 last week. بیانتنه خو انقیت لرابا کد کد پرسوپا کد شمد آتورایت ماروموله گیری پیشی میکره لخچی ایمن لینا منن خینا اینا پریشایت ایمن منن اینا علامه نخله. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here again on August 7th to pay tribute to those before us who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their nation. As has been talked about, this day was designated in honor of the massacres of 1933 in Summit.